Today we're going to talk about what kind of band you want to be in. You're the only one that can decide. Let's talk about it right now. What's up? Chris King here. This is the Love Live Music YouTube channel, and I appreciate you stopping by. Today, we're on theme for some band tips, some points of discussion that I like to have with people that are independent artists, maybe up-and-coming bands, maybe they're just starting to get a band together, but they've got questions and they want answers. So what we're going to discuss, first and foremost, is what kind of band do you want to be in? Or what kind of band are you in? That's today's topic, because there are a lot of answers here. What it all boils down to is, are you going to be a cover band? Are you going to play other people's music? Are you going to set yourself up to be a tribute to another artist? Something of that nature? Are you going to be an original artist? Are you going to be an original band? You're going to be a singer-songwriter type that does a little mix of both. Or maybe you're a band that does some originals in the middle of a cover set. That always goes over real well. But what we're talking about is, what kind of band do you want to be in? You've got to decide this. And it's super important because it allows the people that you're working with, your collaborators, to all have the same knowledge and same goal. So it's important to make sure that everybody's on the same page here with what type of band you're trying to present to the world. Let's talk cover bands. Let's talk local cover bands. Is this what you want to do? Do you want to be in a band that maybe just gigs a couple of times a month, hitting some local club venues? Maybe making a few $100 a night as a band. Maybe you're going to make $500. Maybe you're going to make $1,000 a night at a club venue locally. And then you go back to your day job. But you have fun a couple of weekends out of the month. Maybe you've got one or two club venues in your market that will give you a monthly gig. Maybe you've got some friends that can get you out of town, not too far away, that they'll come out and see you, and you can sow the seeds to build yourself up just out of town. But really, you want to go back to your job. You want to go back to your significant other. You don't want to hit the road. You just want to do this for fun. It's a creative outlet for you to be in a local cover band. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you're going to be, you got to know where to stay in your lane, because that's what you are. You want to be a regional cover band? Do you want to, a regional cover band will probably be able to get out of town based on their good reputation of rocking parties and making everybody happy with their great cover band set. Regional artists are going to play maybe some club gigs and some fraternity sorority parties that are within, 150, 200 miles away. Is that the kind of artist that you want to be? Will you be happy? I just dropped that. Don't worry about it. Will you be happy with your craft if that's what you're doing? A regional cover band likely is playing several weekend nights out of the month. No long tours, but just, maybe 3 out of the 4 weekends your guys are playing, because you're all making $750 to $1,000 a night. Maybe a little bit more than that even. Is that the kind of band you want to be in? You can't really quit your day job, but you can have fun for a while doing it. Do you want to be in a national cover band? Do you want to be on national tours as a national cover band? Regional cover bands, they're not playing big festival gigs. They're playing some fairs in smaller towns. They're playing some smaller festivals, street festivals, things like that as a cover band. That's totally cool. And totally, if that's what you want to do, that's a viable way to get your creative juices out there. Don't ever let anybody tell you that just because you're in a cover band, there's not some creativity to that. Because really, you open yourself up to so many things that you can do. National cover bands, those guys get picked up on some national tours. Maybe you're able to hit all of the House of Blueses across the country, or other venues that will book some national tribute acts. But it's a tough gig, and the money's not always great. Yeah, there might be some $5,000 to $10,000 nights because you're a national touring cover band. You're doing some corporate gigs where you probably are going to make $20,000. Maybe you can do that a few times a year. Is that worth sacrificing relationships? Is it worth going out on the road for a long time? Maybe you don't have people waiting at home. Maybe it's a totally cool thing. But that's the sacrifices that you have to make. I know some guys that are in a national touring cover tribute band. They're super successful. They've been doing this for a couple of decades now. They've got it worked out where, and I'm assuming others do this as well, they've got all of their gear and transportation on each coast. So they fly to the East Coast, they jump in their rental truck with all of their gear there, and they run up a bunch of dates. And then maybe later in the month, they go out the West Coast. They got all their gear out there also. They just bought 2 sets of instruments, 2 sets of staging, all their stuff. And you know, these guys, they're not making a fortune, but they are making at minimum $3,500 a night. At maximum, you know, they're seeing some $15,000 and $20,000 weekend nights. It's not bad money if you're super good and you know what you're doing. And there are definitely people that make a living doing that. Original bands. This is really where I like to discuss original independent artists. I love to see them work their way up through the club scene in their local venues, regional venues, hitting national venues, and growing an original organic product. I love that. But it doesn't always work out that way. More often than not, it doesn't work out at all. And it's super sad. So let's talk about you and your original music. Are you happy just being a local hero? Someone that just is known in your market? Maybe, yeah, sure, you've got some streams from around the world. You've got some friends that you've known through your lifetime that live in other markets, and maybe they've turned some friends onto it. But chances are you're not going out. You're not leaving your county really to play gigs. You're doing some local hero stuff. You're playing a gig or two a month. And that might be too much. That might be too much in your hometown if you're a serious original artist. Sure, you could be a singer-songwriter that gets lots of singer-songwriter gigs where you have to throw in some cover songs. But right now I'm talking specifically about original artists. It's a tough road. I understand why you would want to be a local hero, why you wouldn't want to leave your town, no matter how good you are, because there's a lot of risk involved. I mean, really, what's the next step up? You go from local hero to regional hero? What's a regional hero get? Well, maybe you are working some smaller festival gigs, similar to what the mid-level cover band is doing. Maybe you're getting some good gigs at festivals, but at the same time, you're in that weirdness of if you play the wrong stage where people aren't ready, if you're playing a soft ticket gig where people aren't ready for your originals, it might not go so well. And I understand that. There's a lot of anxiety for everybody when that happens, the promoter and the artist. Regional original bands usually are playing gigs in club venues and doing some college gigs around the area. You know, maybe you're putting together that regional tour. So instead of running up somewhere for a Friday, Saturday night, maybe you're going out on a Wednesday and coming home on a Monday and just kind of playing, 500-600 miles away from home and doing a little loop and coming around, because you are now establishing yourself as a regional artist. You're getting some press in towns that are not your own. Maybe you're getting a little bit of press in neighboring states. Now people are starting to get curious. They're starting to come to your shows because that's the seeds that it takes to become a national hero, right? If you're an original artist and you don't have designs on wanting to be a nationally known artist, someone that is beloved for their craft and their songsmanship and their skill level on their instrumentation and their lyricism and all of these things, then why are you an original band in the first place? You might as well play somebody else's stuff. But the sacrifices are so great to make it to that huge, huge level. it's just so difficult. And I understand why bands break up. And I understand why people decide, you know what, I'm not going to hit the road because I've got young kids at home and I'm raising them with my girlfriend or my boyfriend. And I can't be away, and the drummer can't be away. The bass player could totally go on the road forever. I don't even know if his parents would miss him. But everybody else, we've got these obligations. We've got to just stay at home, maybe put out a couple of records, and just feel good about being the well-known band in our hometown. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of the choices. The only place where I find anything wrong is if you don't know what kind of band you are. Figure it out. You've had a whole pandemic to practice, and I can't wait to see what you come up with the next time you're on stage. And we will see you on stage again. And that's what we talk about here at Love Live Music. We talk about music, we talk about live music, we talk about loving live music, and we talk about what we can do to help indie artists and things that I see and things that I love and things that I like to talk about. You can find out a lot more if you subscribe or if you just follow one of these videos that are coming up on your screen right now.